Ghana. The state is proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University located in Kumasi. The university offers courses like nursing, midwifery, theology, communications, human relations, human resources, and many others. All you need to do is to log on to their website, www.cscu.edu.gov, and then you can just log on to it, read about the different courses that they have, and then if it appeals to you, pick up a form, you fill it up. If you qualify, you'll be admitted into the school. Thank you so much for joining us on the Wednesday edition, but we'll take a quick turn. When we return, we'll bring you W briefs, and then we can delve deeper into our topic for today.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. Don't come yo, don't come me. Ghana for Methodist Asafoma. WTV Enyamfienu 5 years. Hooray! Na enam emfienu mafidida. WTV ADNT. Or yet don't come me promo. And say, so we are Methodist Asafoma. Now our business. And Ejuma Kubia Opesa Obomu Deura. WTV say, ye baby cha Ejuma Kuno. And as we jaton dieno. Ya Bomu Deura na watchu mienu. 2 weeks at the amount 500 Ghana cedis pay. And I bet ya. We a kwanya WTV Faso at the other. Say, what time the chi? I'm my room pempenswa and never dream. Yanuti, Methodist Asafoma, Mumaku, Amopesa Mubomu Deuru, Muntutumrika, Namumra, Fred WTV, Nani Penfoning Como, Emfa Don't Come Promo 0593 110733, and now WhatsApp 0256 253461. WTV, reaching out to the world.
Looking for professional office space? We are here to help you out in every way. Available space to let within the building is a total of about 2,500 square meters. We have in place disability-friendly washrooms, male-female washrooms, and kitchenettes with 24/7 water supply. We are providing the best office space for your business, coupled with an on-site clinic and a spacious car park. Reach out to us before your competitors do. Wesley Towers is designed to make you feel safe, offering you the needed luxurious personal space. It comes with affordable pricing package. Please contact for details and inspection on 0503 109 978, 0500 166 304, or 0556 302 880, or 0243 614-423. Wesley Towers, offering you a safe, secured, luxurious office space.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. This is The State, and it's time for us to bring you W Briefs. Today on W Briefs, you all can attest to the fact that it's some few months to election 2024, and come December 7, voters will have to go to the polling stations and then cast their votes. But before that, we have political parties and then their flag bearers giving us their promises and their manifestos here and there. What do we make of this, and what is this to voters, or what does it mean for voters to also listen to these persons or this group of persons that have been or are the flag bearers, and then their decision that they are going to take? And so we depend on the promises. Voters usually listen to the promises, listen to their manifestos, and based on that, they are able to vote for them. And so whoever wins becomes the president of the nation. And so today on The State, we'll be discussing some of the promises, whether or not it is okay for us to go through it or it is feasible at all in this country. And so today, this is what we'll be discussing, among many other issues concerning the elections and then, of course, the campaign. And so just join us. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll sit down, we'll give you our guest and, of course, our topic for today. All right, and so welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. You're still watching The State here on WTV. My name is 𝗟𝗏𝗧𝗏. The State is proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University. And so if you want to go into nursing, midwifery, theology, you want to do communications, this is the best place for you. Pick up your form, because the 2024-2025 academic year is about to begin, and so do not be left out. Our topic for today is the 2024 general elections, interrogating the various campaign messages as well as the promises that almost all the political parties have for us as a nation. And my guest is joining me via Zoom. He's the person of Mr. Nicholas Taylor, who is a planning and development practitioner as well as a trade unionist. And so today we'll be delving deeper into most of the promises and what it means for us as a nation. And so I would urge you to sit behind your television set and then let's have this beautiful conversation. Mr. Taylor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, Papa. How are you doing?
By the grace of God, we are doing very well.
Okay, thank you so much. But this year has begun again with some promises here and there from both political divide, especially we'll take a look at the NDC and then the NPP as well as the rest of the political parties that we have in this country. But what does it mean for us, especially when it comes to CS electioneering campaign?
All right. Thank you very much. And good afternoon to the people called Methodists and many people are watching WTV. I believe that for any election, the political parties and the individuals who want to contest as a presidential candidate, they normally have to present their vision. They have to present what they want to do. They have to present what they think is in the interest of the country. A manifesto is simply a written declaration of their intents. I mean, what they intend doing, their motives, and whether they are individuals or they are a party, what they think they can do for the development of Ghana. So every political party or any individual willing to lead a particular people will have to present his or her vision. Based on that, people are going to evaluate the vision. People are going to see how he's going to implement the vision, and then they will give him or her the nod to lead the country. Again, Ghana, we have a 4-year cycle per our constitution. And so 2024 is another time for us to go and elect a president on the ticket of a political party so he can lead us. Okay. So now the political parties have all been working on their manifestos. And if you look at the development of manifesto, actually, you would have to get some of the basic data, whether you collect it formally or informally. Then having collected the data of the people that you want to lead, and then you have to look at the engagement of the people. So you engage with them, and then you fine-tune your manifesto, and then you look at the formation of committees to help you galvanize the needed information to finalize the manifesto. Okay. And then finally, when you do the publication or the launch, then the public who did not have the opportunity to look at the blueprint will now have the opportunity to also critique the document that has been brought out. Now, it is based on this that you are going to have the validation of the thing that have been promised. If we look at this country, we have 2 major political parties and other political parties that we refer to them as the smaller political parties. Now, as we speak, we have the NPP and the NDC and also the ALAN, that is the Butterfly Movement. Yeah. They have proposed some manifesto. Sure. If you look at ALAN, for example, he has published or he has come about with a Great Transformation Plan, okay, the GTP. Mm-hmm. In the thinking of ALAN, this Great Transformational Plan is going to transform this country and put us on an economic pedestal to move forward. Now, if you look at also the NDC, they have also mobilized, gone round, and then they have also put up their manifesto. Recently, they launched the youth manifesto of the NDC. So before we come to all of that, how do you find the campaigning so far? I think we have a few months to election 2024. Yes. The campaign so far, I have seen a trend. Okay. That the politicians seem to be moving away from the big rallies, and many of them are now doing door-to-door. Okay. And then smaller group engagements. In their opinion, going to the people, interacting with them, telling them their story, telling them what they want to do, they think that they will be able to imbibe the policy better. They will be able to understand things better. They can have one-on-one engagement with them better. Okay. So the people can understand the vision that they are bringing. So I see a trend. Generally, you see Dr. 𝗬𝗓𝗓, when he was doing the national tour, he was going marketplaces, he was going to meet the reverend ministers, he was meeting the youth. And then if you look at President Mahama, also doing the same thing. So it seems as if all of them are trying to move away from the rallies. Maybe because we have not gotten to the peak. Okay. But for now, they are all doing door-to-door. If you look at Alan is also doing door-to-door or smaller group meeting, which I think is a way of capturing the attention of the electorate more. So for now, the campaign season is heating up and it's going to be more going forward. But taking a look at the current temperature of the electioneering campaign process, what do you think will be the reason why it has taken this turn? You see, political parties have realized that sometimes when you mobilize the people on that large scale and they come to a particular point, it has a lot of cost implications. Now, all those who are coming, they must be in a form of party paraphernalia. Either the party is providing or the people have to buy it. It's a cost. Number two, we have logistical constraints. You need to mobilize all these people and bring them to a point. And the transportation is a cost to them, and then other risk factors and all that. Again, when you bring them together, the possibility of even people not listening to what you are saying is high, because the vuvuzelas and the drums and the singing and the things are so much, the euphoria is so much so that sometimes people may not even listen to what the flag bearer or the speakers are saying. So maybe they think that if they go this way, it's going to be better. But gradually, they can't also avoid it. They can't avoid it. Certainly, you have to meet the larger group and portray to the electorate that, yes, I have the people. People are behind me and they'll vote for me. So I think that since it's heating up, there will be a time we'll see some of the mammoth rallies. But for now, they seem to be going the smaller group and the engagement section.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that great submission. But if you look at the in your earlier submission, you mentioned what a manifesto is. You explained to us what it means for political parties to sit down to think about what is happening in the country and then write their manifestos in accordance to what they are experiencing or what we are experiencing as a people in the country. But what other things constitute to the campaign promises?
Right. Thank you very much. And it's a very important question. There are people who look at the manifesto of a political party or an independent candidate and they will vote based on manifesto.
Okay.
There are people who look at sometimes ethnic considerations. Somebody can say that, at the fantasy will say, one about the Gwabaduada in Gwabagun. That is to say that if your brother, your sister is in a privileged position, certainly you will not be left out. So some people may look at the ethnic consideration and they will go along that line. There are others who look at gender considerations.
Okay.
That this place we've not had an MP who is a female or who is a male, and therefore this time around the female will want to mobilize themselves and go for the female. Okay. Sometimes people can say that this person is a teacher. If the person goes, the person will be able to articulate the views of teachers more. So. Teachers, let's go for the teacher. I mean, so there are several things that help people make a choice. And again, if you look at the other factors, somebody may look at what the political party has done in its record. It's also very important. People will look at it. Okay, if it were the CPP, what did they do when they were in power? If we fought for them, what can they do? If it's the MPP, what have they done? What can they do? If it's about NDC, what is their record and what are they bringing on board? So all these are considerations that anybody will try to look at before they will vote, even apart from the manifesto. So obviously, there are people who will not look at the manifesto, but they will look at other things and vote. And there are other critical minds that will try to look at what the person is bringing before they can vote.
All right. Now, apart from the manifesto, we hear politicians stand in places. They go into the churches, they go into the mosque, they go into public gatherings, and they make promises. But how important are these promises?
Yes. My sister, I think the promises are sometimes based on the situation that they have seen. You know, the manifestos are intentions. They are views.
Okay.
They are visions that the person is going to bring on board. So as the person goes on and the person sees that, this particular portion, maybe it was not properly captured in my manifesto. Now I have met with these people and these people are making this demand. Okay, looking at the country's trajectory, and we now put in something to respond to the need of these people. And that is where the promises come in. The danger in these promises is that they may have sat down properly to look at the implications of the promises they are going to make. And this one, we need to look at it seriously. Now you have built your manifesto. For that one, you may have gone around, you may have done your consultations and engagement, and you have brought out something. In terms of the on-the-spot promises, what work has gone into it? What have you done about it that you are coming up with the promises? So all these ones will come to play, so that apart from the manifesto, you can still have promises that they will make. And when they come to power, they will make all attempts to both implement the manifesto and the promises. And sometimes that is where we get into problems.
Okay. Now, interestingly, I mean, year on year, when it gets to elections, we hear these promises should we even take them to heart? Should we take them as serious as the politicians may have mentioned in their public gatherings and all that? Should we take them seriously?
You see, in a way, yes. In a way, yes, because you can evaluate somebody or evaluate a system or a political party based on a blueprint.
Okay.
And so obviously, that will be the basis for which we are going to examine their performance. And therefore, yes, it's appropriate for us to look at the manifesto they are bringing, so that if they come and they don't do what they promised or what they put in their manifesto, it will have the basis to say that, Master, you said you were going to do this. You said you were going to bring this. You said you were going to do this. Now you have been in power for 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, 6 years, whatever. Yet you have not provided these things. Then we can see that you did not fulfill your promise, for which we may not give you another mandate. Or you have done this very well, for which you give us. So, Sister, I think that for the manifesto, to me, it's very important.
Mr. Taylor, what should be the implication? Because as you rightly said, before this particular election year, we've had various promises from both sides of the coin. What should be the implication to this, especially when it gets to the voting era?
Yes, that is where I was mentioning that.
Okay.
They all proposed or brought manifesto to us.
Yeah.
The NDC brought the 2020 manifesto, and I have a copy here. If there is time, we will certainly go through it and see some of the things they promised. The NPP did same, which I have a copy here that if there is time, we can elect.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And so hello.
We will get to that.
Yes, very good. So you can see that they brought all these manifestos and then all these promises with the view that they are going to carry the nation along these particular manifestos and then see how they are going to better the lot of this country. It is now up to the citizens. It is now up to the electorate, the people who are going to renew or change the mandate of political parties, to say that, this person said this. We gave him or her the mandate. He has not been able to fulfill his or her promise. Can I give him a mandate? I will vote for him.
Okay.
This person didn't do well. All the things that he said that has not been done. What is the need for me to renew the mandate? I will not continue to renew the mandate. So the manifesto will be a guideline that will give us the parameters of a time for us to be able to evaluate the performance of the people, both the written and the unwritten ones. Because when they say it, the media is capturing it. You understand? And so it's going to be also a record for them to fulfill because you have said it, and we will hold you to it.
All right, thank you so much. But let's come back to the Fourth Republic. We've had different political parties heading the state, heading the nation, heading the country. But what are some of the promises that readily comes to mind when we mention the Fourth Republic?
Right. Thank you very much. You agree with me that in the era of the 1992, the formative part of our democracy, you can see that things were not really structured. I mean, we were now going through transition from military to the civilian rule. And so even our electoral process and all that were not that as sharp as we can see now. And so if you look at those era, Rawlings did so well with the manifesto that they presented. And if you look at the trajectory or the development plan that they took us through, you can say they walked us along the line. It will also be incumbent on all of us to see whether all the promises in the 1992 manifesto of the National Democratic Congress from PNDC to NDC were all fulfilled. If you look at economic recovery, if you look at infrastructure development, if you look at educational and all that, all these are things that we can hold them to rate. If you come to, after Rawlings come to John Adekun Kufuor, and then he also did very well with the implementation of his manifesto. And you can see that under President Kufuor, we had also infrastructure development, economic recovery, and then almighty this HIPIC initiative and all that. That made Ghana free itself from a lot of the debt that we had accumulated. And then also you come to the era of Professor 𝗟𝗑𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, and you can see that the economic indicators under Professor Mills, and if you look at the inflation rate and all that, they also help. And you know, Professor was a professor of economics and tax. And so if you look at his trend, also there were a lot of things that he also did. You come to John Dramani Mahama, and if you look at infrastructure development, and you look at other things, he also did based on the manifesto they brought, and some of the promises like the E-block that he promised, which he was not able to build all of them, but built some of them. And then we come to Nana Adanko Akufo-Addo, also presented a manifesto, and then has also come up to this point with the implementation of the manifesto with the free SHS that was promised, and they have been able to implement it, even though there are challenges that people are talking about, the review and all that. You can see that from the 1992 coming, the political parties have tried to implement their manifestos or their promises, albeit sometimes very good, sometimes not too good, sometimes doing it because they have to do it. So I can say that, by and large, they have all tried to do their best. Question is, if we are to continue on the trajectory or on the point that is coming, can we really achieve the economic independence that Ghana wants? Can we have that kind of infrastructure development that will propel this country into nowadays we are middle income or something? Can we go to
the income status
the level that other people are striving to?
Oh, okay.
One of the things that we need to know is that the manifestos are there, but the practical challenges of the implementation of the manifesto is also there, and our politicians must be mindful of that particular fact.
All right, now let's come back. Let's come back to the NPP. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, has indicated that he's going to give some tax amnesty plan to boost the economic recovery of the nation. These plans, these promises, these manifestos that one way or the other, we don't have it probably in a booklet form, but they were promises made by the same flag bearers. The other one, the current one, is the NDC's own that states that would have students in first years at the university would have to go through the school tuition free for the first 1 year. How feasible are these promises?
Thank you very much. Listen, you see, I have been saying that any average Ghanaian politician, leader, knows the problem of this country. It is about the political will to solve the problem that they are not having. Now, whenever they are in opposition, sometimes the kinds of promises they make, they come to office and the realities test at their feet, and therefore they now have to backtrack. Now, starting from the Dr. Bawumia, as you indicated, he has, last time that he met with the time that he was introducing himself of a kind, he brought about 70 points agenda. And he believed that if he's given the opportunity, he will be able to implement those ones to help us. The former president, John Mahama, is also giving us some promises. Now, tax amnesty for individuals and businesses. And he also promised, Dr. Bawumia is what I'm talking about now. Tax amnesty for individuals and businesses. He mentioned robust fisheries industry. He has talked about digital transformation. He has mentioned about the free, the support for people with disabilities, the mobile phone system, and then the credit rating system. Now, if you look at the tax amnesty, you have to actually evaluate the entire system and look at which system would need this amnesty, which group of people, what are they bringing on board for which they need tax amnesty. Because if you give the amnesty and it is not going to inure the general benefit of the Ghanaians, then we cannot say that it has been done well. He is an economist, a good one at that. And therefore, he may have done his own analysis and has come out to know that if we give the tax amnesty, it is going to help businesses to boom. And when we have businesses developing, the country's economic development can be on the high movement. If you look at the fisheries industry, as he has promised, it also needs some kind of a movement for which we're going to have the fisheries industry developing and being able to create the number or the quantum of fishes that is needed for the country's consumption and even for export. And I think that they have done the rearing for rearing
for food and jobs.
They're planting for food and jobs and all that. All these are things that comes into the agricultural sector that needs implementation. So I think that they have promised so many things. The credit rating. The credit rating, as promised by Dr. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧, is something that can work. But our systems need to be adjusted to suit that kind of thing. So that who is credit worthy? If the person himself is not credit worthy, there's no way that this can apply to the person. Now, former President Mahama is also talking about 24-hour economy, and now he's talking about free academic user facilitator user fee for all first-year students of our tertiary institutions. I watched one analysis, and you realize that if we have the fee is about 2,000 Ghana cedis, and we are looking at about 22,000 or 25,000 people going every year, and then we have a quantum of money, almost about 300 or so million Ghana cedis, and he thinks that Ghana is capable of doing that. My question is, would Dr. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧, now the manager of the economic management team, former President Mahama, haven't been there before, looking at the state of this country, the promises they are all making, the two of them that they are making, is it feasible? Can Ghana go through these promises with our current economic situation? And this is where I would want to suggest to politicians to be a little moderate and measured in the promises they are making.
So Mr. Taylor, I'm asking, Mr. Taylor, I'm asking, are these promises, these manifestos, are they feasible?
I think it's feasible. For me, I think that looking at our current economic conditions, some of the things that both of them are promising, we need to look at it because
what are some of the things that we should look at?
But politicians as they are, and I want to emphasize this here, politicians as they are, when they are given the opportunity, they will try, they will make all effort to implement. The question is, are we going to cut that quality for the implementation? And therefore, they will try to do it anyway, anyhow, just to ensure that they fulfill their pledge. But we are not going to get the best, the value for money. Specifically about the digital transformation, Dr. 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗧, you know, the digital transformation is something that we need, it's like a pathway that we need to build on it so we can do other things. And so if we are not able to synchronize our system to seal the digital transformation, we may do it, but we may not get the needed benefit. Now, free SHS, a good policy, wonderful policy. And the question that we ask is that, what has been the quality like? And we see a lot of teachers, individuals talking about the fact that we need to review the policy. We need to review the policy. And so I think that the policy they are bringing are for Ghanaians. They should look at the economic condition of Ghana before they make their promises, so that when they come, they will not find themselves wanting. But some of them are feasible, others are not feasible.
Now let's take a look at Ghana and then our development. What do we really need as a country in terms of our development? And are we seeing it, are we hearing it in these promises?
Right. Thank you very much. A survey was conducted about the needs, general needs of Ghanaians. And the topmost of it, jobs. If you look at our unemployment rate in this country, it keeps going high. Unemployment is going high. And when we have a situation where unemployment rate keeps rising, then we are sitting on a timed bomb where the young people who have the energy, who have the enthusiasm, who have the ability to work are not having it. And therefore, they may channel their energy to a wrong use. And that is where we normally have a lot of problems. So my challenge is that jobs are very important. And so all these political parties, they should steer their affairs towards creation of sustainable jobs. Creation of decent jobs. Creation of jobs that people can do and they can say, yes, I'm working. So that this issue of unemployment, underemployment, and skill unalignment. And when I talk about skill unalignment, we are talking about somebody who has maybe gone to school, the person has learned about nursing, and because the person is not having job to do, he decided, okay, let me branch into teaching. Or somebody has learned as a teacher, but because he cannot get the space, okay, let me go into maybe police or something. So you can see that the person has learned something. And because of the unavailability of the corresponding jobs, I said on money, I mean, the person has to go somewhere else. So these are the jobs that we need to do. The second one that people talk about more is our road network.
Okay.
Road network. And the last time our presiding bishop was speaking at 𝗟𝗓𝗡, and he was talking about how the poor nature of our roads. Poor nature of our roads. And you know, our road network, we're also talking about development, with economic growth, because the person who is plowing or farming at 𝗟𝗓𝗡 will have to transport his or her materials to maybe to Wale Wale or to Tamale or to Accra. If the road network is not good, the person can produce, but the produce cannot reach the market on time and it will get spoiled. So road network is another thing. Education, the third one. Education. We want our politicians to look at quality education. They should not give us just anything. They should not give us just anything. They should ensure that the kind of education that they are giving to us is going to benefit us, it's going to benefit our generation, so that anyone who gets this kind of education, we're going to have the development of this country at heart. Looking at the economic development, looking at the knowledge, the skill, and the attitude that people need to get to be able to do what they are doing. So there are these things that we need to look at, and then health is also very, very essential.
Mr. Taylor, what about our educational
these are some of the
system?
Things that our politicians will have to look at and address.
Mr. Taylor, what about our educational system?
That we need to look at. Hello?
What about our educational system that needs reform?
Good. Our educational system, currently let's look at the free SHS, for example.
Okay.
Currently, the enrollment is very high, very, very good. And so, had it not been the free SHS, maybe some children who didn't have money couldn't have enrolled to secondary school, which is very good. But we must ensure that we put in measures that will let those in the schools get the better treatment, the better feeding, the better tuition, and the needed material that they want to be able to get the quality education. Now, the secondary school curriculum is going under review, and we hope that they are going to put in place the kind of things that will be required for a graduate of a secondary school to be a critical thinker, to be able to develop him or herself, and not always rely on government for jobs, because I mean, obviously, the government sector is choked, and government doesn't want to employ again. So listen, I think that these are the things that we need to look at, so that both political parties will look at it and give us something that is workable. Okay.
Now, aside education, what else?
Aside education, I mentioned about health. You see, I travel a lot across the country, and sometimes when you see some of the health infrastructure and education infrastructure that we have, sometimes it's very, very disheartening. Children, I mean, all Ghanaians, they are also Ghanaian, they deserve it. But you go some places, and then the children will have to sleep on the bed floor to rest. You go some places, some people go to hospitals, and they cannot get the facilities that will serve them. And so you see somebody who needs blood, or somebody who has to be given a very good care, sleeping on a stretcher or a carrier to be treated. These are things that we need to look at, so that if there's a need for this country to look at our governance system, cut down some of the waste in the system, cut down corruption in the system, where both political parties are all guilty of, so that we will be able to put our members, our citizens, our electorates on a footing towards economic and national development. Otherwise, the way we are going, it is very serious for us.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that submission. We would like to take a break, but viewers have been discussing the 2024 general elections, interrogating the various campaign promises as well as the manifestos and the messages that have been given to us by the different political parties we have in this country. Our guest is Mr. Nicholas Taylor. He's a planning and development practitioner as well as a trades unionist. And so we'd like to take a quick break. When we return, we'll delve deeper into some of the promises and whether or not it is still feasible for us as compared to the development of this country.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240-154825, or 0244-596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odeneho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Serena Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku,
and the Reverend 𝗟𝗑𝗪𝗘 Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Serena Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. But this may be the final bit. But we've been discussing the 2024 general elections here on the state. They're interrogating the various campaign messages as well as promises. And our guest joined us via Zoom. He is in the person of Mr. Nicholas Taylor. He's a planning and development practitioner as well as a trades unionist. Welcome back again, sir. Now let's take a look. Yeah, so let's take a look at whether or not some of the developmental issues that you have raised that Ghana should at least have is seen or is heard in any of the promises and then the manifesto that we've heard, especially the youth one.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at the health, for example, I believe that in the run-up to the COVID issues, or maybe in the heat of the COVID, the president of the country realized that our infrastructure, our health infrastructure, was seriously under use or under control, and therefore the president promised the Agenda 111 with a view of providing hospitals for districts that do not have, which I believe that is something that is the way to go. The question that what we normally do, some of us who do about planning and these things, we ask ourselves that some of the things, before you do it, you may have to look at the cost implications. You have to look at the area that you get, and that means the availability of land. Some of the areas when you are going to build, you look at the topography of even the land that you are going to build certain things on. We have situations where facilities are provided at places where people may not want to go. And so when you are doing planting and you want to put up a facility, you need to look at all these factors. So the Agenda 111, very good initiative, which is ongoing at various stages. I'm not hopeful that they'll be able to complete all. But I believe that if they're able to do some of the Agenda 111, it will help us to ease the pressure on some of the facilities we have. For example, if you come to the Ashanti region, we have the bigger one, the Confidential Hospital that we all know. But if areas like the 𝗟𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 Hospital and then the other 𝗟𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 Hospital and others are properly revamped and then put in the shade of a health facility, it will ease the pressure on Confidential. If you come to Greater Accra, you have the same story, Cape Coast and all that. So I believe that the development of health infrastructure is something we must do. But I want to caution our politicians that they should be cautious in their promises. Because if you say that you want to do all this and at a go, looking at the Ghana's economic conditions, you need to just cut our coats according to the size of our cloth, so that we can develop at a pace that is good for us. Yes, in development, leapfrogging is important in development, but you cannot leapfrog when the systems that are required have not been put in place. If you look at the case of our former president about the first year free academic facility user fee, our question is, I don't know the kind of mathematics, the kind of analysis that has been done for them to come out with that figure. But we ask ourselves, is it sustainable? Can we contain it? Now, free SHS, our problem now is with funding, because the money that we need to pump into free SHS for things to normalize, due to our economic conditions, we don't have that money. So government has good intentions, yet because of lack of funds, we are not able to do that. Now, if you are going to give this free thing to the people, looking at the fact that universities also need money to run, if these monies are not given to universities in good time for them to work, what happens to the quality education that we want? Now, as we speak, capitation grant for the basic schools, the payment is something that we cannot talk about. It's something we cannot talk about. So sometimes we make the promises, but I don't know whether we do the actuarial work to see whether the promises that the politicians are making can be achieved or cannot be achieved. Then they throw it out there. We sometimes all receive it with the joy and the ecstasy that is required. But it comes to implementation, and you can see that if policies are not properly thought through, if policies are not taken through the right channels of implementation, you can have the policy, good one, of course. The implementation will be bad, and therefore people will not get the needed benefit from that. And so I want our politicians, the political parties, and then the individuals who are coming up as independent candidates, they should all be realistic. So that if somebody decides that, okay, we have the sea in Accra, we have the sea in Cape Coast, but Kumasi also needs a sea. And therefore, we will look at the process of maybe dredging the sea to Kumasi. You can see that there are a lot of complications that will come along.
Are you saying that most of the, Mr. Taylor, are you saying that most of the promises, most of the manifestos that we've had in the last few days, in a couple of weeks back, are not feasible at all?
Yes, some of them are not feasible. They have to raise statute.
Then again, which one is feasible?
For those of us planners and developers, we are what our thinking is that give us cogent analysis, give us data to validate the claim that you are making. You cannot come out and throw anything out there. I will bring credit rating. I will do mobile phone. I will pay first year fees just like that. You can't come and tell us just like that and go away. Give us the details so that we can interrogate the figures and know whether what you are saying is feasible or not. But the situation where they throw out promises without corresponding breakdown, I think that should be a thing of the past. This time around, when you are coming to say anything, give us figures, give us data, let's interrogate it.
Interesting. Now, if all this is said and done, I mean, let's look at this year's elections and how crucial is it for us as Ghanaians?
The elections upcoming is very crucial for this country.
Okay.
Crucial in the sense that I'm not even looking at the political parties. Ghana is seen as a beacon of hope, beacon of democracy across the sub-region, in Africa, and in the world. And so, one, this particular election is going to consolidate our democratic gains. That's why we can't take it for granted. This election, if we're able to go through it very well, we get a winner, we get a loser, we get an outcome very clean and incident-free, it is going to enhance our democratic credentials. Number two, development goes very well when you have a peaceful and sustainable environment.
Okay.
Whenever there's no peace, it will be difficult for development to go on. Number three, the development we are doing must inure to the benefit of the citizens. Now, if you come to power and you have 120 ministers, 120 ministers, 150 ministers, 100 ministers for a country like Ghana, what is it about? And people sometimes forget about the cost implications in the creation of a ministry, a department, an agency. And so we have to now, fortunately for us, the two people, former President Mahama and Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗦𝗁, they have all promised lean government. Mahama is promising about 60 ministers. Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗦 is promising 50 ministers.
Okay.
Well and good. Well and other development. Number four, when a political party comes into power, the thing that they are doing must feed into the general development of this country. My dear, that kind of synergy is not coming. It is not coming. So we have the National Development Commission also that have given us the general framework of the development of this country. But politicians are planning their things, sometimes not looking at the general planning of this country. And so you can see that they will come with their manifesto and then they want to implement it. Come what may, money or not, good or not, they want to implement it. But what is Ghana's own development agenda? And how are our politicians going to feed into the general development agenda of this country? So that nobody should come with anything and just throw it on us. Let us go poco a poco, so that we can all follow a certain kind of development and then we can reach there. But the rate at which we are going, and especially one major killer, because NDC started, NPP will not continue. Because NPP started, NDC will not continue. Kind of thing. It's actually creating problems and taking Ghana forward. If we go across this country, we have so many things: roads, hospitals, schools, whatever, that have been started by previous government or successive government or past government, and nobody wants to continue. Nobody wants to continue. And I think that should not be the way to go. We should set Ghana as Ghana. We should have politicians that will have Ghana at heart, that will do things in the interest of Ghana. So they should not say things that will just give them political votes for them to win power. They should do things that will be in the interest of the general economic development of the country called Ghana. Okay.
All right, interesting. Now, if all this is said and done, we are expecting the political parties to launch their manifestos and all that. If they don't adhere to if they don't pay heed to their promises and then their manifestos, who should we hold accountable? And what are some of the institutions that can come forward and then front that call?
Thank you very much. If we had a situation where the manifestos of the political parties and the individual presidential candidates are in sync with the NDPC, the National Primary Commission, then we can hold them accountable to track, to monitor the implementation of the manifesto of the political parties. And because we don't have such a channel, a codified channel, the political parties will come and they will do what they can do and they will go away. Again, in this country, another problem that is worrying us is the inability of technocrats to think Ghana first and put their political parties aside. So you go to parliament and people we have elected to go and think independently and develop Ghana, they go and their first option is MPP, NDC. It's not about Ghana. You go to our ministries, departments and agencies, and people there, their interest is for a particular political party. This one should go up, this one should come down. We will frustrate you, we will do it at all costs, and therefore we are not moving forward. Another thing is that sometimes some of these political parties have their own media outlets. And these media outlets, whether the parties are doing what is right or wrong, these media outlets will project it as if they are sacrosanct, as if whatever they are doing is right. And when it happens like that, the movement becomes very, very awkward. And so I have been saying that we may get whoever as president, and of course myself, whoever becomes president, sometimes not too much of my interest. But the question is, if we have strong parliament, strong judiciary, strong ministry, departments, and agencies, they will be able to guide the process of development. They will look at the implementation of the policies to tilt Ghana. But if we don't have all these things, we can bring Jesus Christ as president of Ghana. If we don't change our minds and we don't get our technocrats working as technocrats who have learned in schools and want to implement, but they want to sing the song of political parties. Listener, I will hold something said, we cannot go anywhere. But if we want to go forward, we should think Ghana first, put Ghana as our manifesto, and do what will develop this country, Ghana, instead of being aligned to a political party.
Rightly said. Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholas Taylor. He was our guest, and he is a planning and development practitioner as well as a trade unionist. Our topic for today was the 2024 general elections, interrogating the various campaign messages and promises. My name is Listener. This program was proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedules and joining us here on The States. Please continue watching WTV, but we'll come your way with The States on Friday. Before then, enjoy the rest of our programs and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.